Hi everybody, we're going to learn how to install and run Manifold Viewer, and we're going to learn how to do that for the portable installation. You can download Manifold Viewer, which is a free download, in one of two forms. There's the standard version that works with Microsoft Windows Installer to install as part of the regular Windows installer jazz, and there's the portable installation. A lot of people who work with software prefer the portable installation because it doesn't have to mess with Windows installer and all that stuff. And when you download Viewer Edge, which is the latest, greatest version of Viewer, which I recommend that you do, you'll get the portable installation. And what you get is a zip file like this. So to work with it, the first thing we do is we unzip it. Everybody knows how to unzip zip files. I happen to like using 7-zip because it's fast. And when this file unzips, it creates a folder. And this long name of the folder just gives you the version. For example, this is Manifold Viewer release 9.0.167.6. That happens to be the latest version as of today's date. And to run it, we go into this folder, and you see there's two subfolders here. There's one called bin, which is for 32 bits. Bin is if you're running a 32-bit Windows installation, say on a notebook computer or something like that, you go into this bin folder, double-click on exe, and that launches Viewer. Now, if you're running 64 bits, which is, you should be running 64 bits. After all, this is this is 2018. You come here to the bin 64 folder, where you double-click on Manifold exe, and that launches Manifold Viewer in a 64-bit operation. And I'm going to resize this a bit to take full advantage of the screen that YouTube allows us to use. So let's do that. Put that right there. And to open a project in Manifold Viewer, you click File, Open. If you want to use one of the pre-built projects like the Manifold Volcanoes projects, you just go here and you double-click on that, and bang, it's open. To take a look at what this contains, you double-click on the map, and that launches Manifold Viewer. This particular project has a bunch of layers. It uses Google Maps as the background layer, and it also has Bing Maps as a satellite layer as well. So if you prefer Microsoft satellite views, you can use Bing. If you prefer Google, you can use Google. If you do a lot of viewing of image servers, Google will start throttling you. They don't like people to download too much stuff for free. And the way you deal with that is you sign up to be a Google developer, and they give you an API key for free. And then what you can do is you can create one of these image servers and read the documentation, see how to do it, using your developer key. And if you use your developer key, Google is way more flexible, and they're extremely generous with the amount of free viewing they allow you to do. So if you're going to do a whole lot of viewing with Google Maps, then I recommend you download, you acquire a developer key and use the developer key to access the image server. If you don't want to mess with that, just use Bing, because Bing is way more relaxed about throttling. And in many locations, the Bing server is just as good as Google, if not better. In fact, if we take a look at some of these spots here, let's go to a list of locations, which happens to be this particular project. We can see something like the Ibu crater. Ibu, I believe, is a volcano in, where is that here? H-I-J-K, what, Ibu. Let's say a stratovolcano in Indonesia. I'm going to right-click on the location, choose View in Active Window, and it'll take us to Ibu. And that's the Ibu crater. Ibu is a wonderful crater in Indonesia, which you can see perfectly in Bing. And if you try to look at it in Google, all you get is cloud cover. So I'm not gonna mess with that right now. But other Google servers are pretty good too. Like, for example, the Google Maps terrain server. And what we have here is a collection, in this particular project, a collection of image servers. This project is about how to install and use Manifold Viewer. It is not about how to operate this particular Volcanoes project. There's another video for that. So let's not mess with that much further. Instead, let's show you how you can do other things with Viewer. For example, let's Control-click here to zoom to fit all these labels, and let's import a project. We'll do File, Import. Let's import a shapefile. Everybody likes to play with shapefiles, and here's a folder that has a bunch of shapefiles, and one of them is right here. So I'm going to click on Import, and that automatically imports the drawing. I'll turn off the existing drawing, and I'll throw this drawing into the display. And this is from the Alaska Volcano Observatory. It has a lot of volcanoes which are in Alaska, which are lesser volcanoes, and not the ones that you find on typically the big volcanoes lists. And I'm going to style these a little bit. I'm going to change the coloring to bright pink for the fill color for points. I'm going to make those points a little bit bigger. Let's make them 8 points. No, it's a little bit too big. Let's make them 6 points. Good enough. And let's create labels for them. I'm going to right-click the drawing, choose Create, New Labels. And for the field, I'm going to use the Volcano field, which I know is the one that has the names for the labels. Click Create Labels. Now I'm going to drag and drop that labels component into the map. And you can see we now have labels for all these. So for example, if we zoom into here, there's the Katmai volcano as seen in Bing. There's one called Trident. And so forth and so on. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Download Viewer and try it out. It's absolutely wonderful. You can connect to hundreds, if not thousands, of data sources pretty darn near automatically. For example, let's create a data source which is I'm going to try to do this so it stays on screen. File, create new data source. And let's use an image server, and let's use the OpenStreetMaps base image server, create data source. There it is. Oops, I didn't click that right. Here it is. Let's drag and drop that OpenStreet image into my display. And now you can see what OpenStreetMaps does for a base map for Alaska. There isn't a whole lot of action in OpenStreetMap in the distant reaches of Alaska. And it can be a little bit slower than some of the big commercial servers that are, provide coverage for Bing and Google, which are faster. But if we zoom in here to various locations, you can see that OpenStreetMap is pretty good. And as these tiles are filling in, what's happening is that the tiles are coming in for the different layers. We have the Bing Maps satellite layer turned on, so the tiles are coming in for that layer as well as they are for the OpenStreetMap layer. Well, there you go. That's a good look at Manifold Viewer. Like I say, download it. It is completely free. There's no nagware. There's no upsell. It doesn't time out. It doesn't try to show you advertising or try to talk you into buying Release 9 or anything like that. It is genuinely free software with zero restrictions. You can use it for commercial use. You can use it for personal use or private use. You can give it away to your friends. You can share downloads on your website. Do whatever you want with it. And it really is free software. So I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Come back soon and see the other Manifold videos. And goodbye from Manifold Land. Well, that was fun. If you want to see more, visit us at www.manifold.net. As always, Manifold delivers the world's most advanced, highest quality spatial products for GIS and DBMS at a low price that you can afford. Once again, that's manifold.net. See you soon.